Hello VC. I thought I'd chip in with my entry for the 2021 vinyl tag. I've got a lot of stuff to show. There's a lot of questions, so I'm going to get on with it. So the first question is a discovery in 2020. Now this is a bit cheeky because the discovery I made in 2020 was small label UK country music. And let me show you some. I intend to do a video at some point on this, you know, because I'm after subscribers. So yeah, so interesting stuff. It's all sort of private press, slightly more than private press, but small labels. So we've got things like Doreen Sharif and the Deputies, Country and Harmony. Sundowners, this is Homespun Country. Beretta, don't you love that logo? That's amazing. Signed copy, yeah. They even have a special section on the back of the record because they were sold at live shows where you could get the band to sign it. So that's Beretta. I've got a signed copy of Beretta. Redwood, live. Redwood are probably the nearest thing we come in the UK to a Flying Burrito Brothers band. So Redwood. And finally, I'll just show, because you have to show that really, isn't it? King of the Ring, Brian Maxine, who was a singing wrestler, as you can tell. This album doesn't have it, but some of his albums have various members of... Oh no, it does. Has various members of Fairport Convention playing country music on it. Anyway, there you go. So that was my discovery in 2020. Small label UK country from mostly the 70s and 80s. Okay, a quarantine buy. I've had a check, and I originally, when we went into lockdown, I kind of wanted to not buy records online because I didn't like the idea of people having to go through the rigmarole with the dangers of delivering it and posting it and things like that. Unfortunately, that didn't last very long, and so I was quickly onto eBay and I picked up this. This is Housing Project by John Hartford. This is from 1968, and I can't believe I got this. So for the price I got it, I think I got it on eBay, but it was a steal and it's in excellent condition. John Hartford, probably most famous for doing Gentle on My Mind, that Glenn Campbell did a cover and got a hit with. Banjo player, and very weird, sort of strange, psychedelic, folk country stuff going on here. Some of his stuff's overproduced, but I quite like that stuff. But yeah, you don't really see some of his 60s stuff. You see a lot of his Flying Fish stuff. I need to get on because I'm never going to get these things done. Right. An LP I want to find in 2021. So clearly I haven't got that record to show, but I will show another record by him. It's Jerry Reed. There's an album he released in 1976 called Both Barrels, which was kind of like the soundtrack to the film Gator. And as with a lot of Jerry Reed stuff, it's got some swampy, funky country on it. And I really love that. There's two tracks. There's the Gator sort of tune, and there's a song called Rooster Jones, which I really love in my collection. Funky country from Jerry Reed. So if I ever find that, I'll be really pleased this year. A box set. I don't have a huge number of box sets. Anyway, and you might see that there's a theme to this video as well. This is a box set of 7 inches by a band called the Smith Garrett Band, and they are a kind of a UK alternative country group, a bit kind of Whiskey Town, a bit Wilco, maybe early Wilco, and this is from, I'm not quite sure when it was released actually, and what you get in here, this is number 62 of these, of probably 63 that they made. And you get the album on CD that they released. And you get 3 singles that they released. I'm not going to get them all out. But really nice stuff. And what I like about this, it doesn't quite fit in. It's which means that the box has been repurposed from something else. It's got a bit of a homemade sticker on the back. I like that. It's sort of the personal touch from the band. You imagine that they put it together. Okay, so that's the Smith Garrett Band box set. There you go. Close look. There you go. A little bit on the back. Okay, a concept album. Okay, this is Motorcycle Mama by Sailcat. This was the only album from this band. It's from 1972, I think. And yeah, it's a concept album based kind of on the images from the cover. It tells a story about this sort of Peter Fonda-esque character on his bike on the road, meeting a girl who's got a daughter and then becoming an item, and yeah. I think Motorcycle Mama was a minor hit in the States, but they disappeared without trace. And it's nice. It's kind of, I should have said really, it's kind of southern rock, funky country kind of stuff going on. Country rock. Yeah. Sailcat, Motorcycle Mama for your concept album. An album where the artist band changed directions. Okay, I'm going to show Johnny Cash's Silver. This is from 1980, or was it 79? 79, sorry. And this was a departure for him. Although it's still got very much that Johnny Cash feel to it. The boom chicka boom. And it's got, and in fact, yeah. And, but it's produced by Brian Aherne, who was an up-and-coming young producer. He was married to and produced Emmylou Harris, and so he kind of brings a modern feel to it. It's got some synthesizers and sort of unique modern sounds. At the time, I don't think it went down particularly well. It's I think the version of Ghost Riders in the Sky, which is on here, was a bit of a hit in the States. But yeah, a lot of people don't like it, and of course, people don't think he got cool again until the American recordings with Rick Rubin, but I disagree. I think it's a great album, a lost classic, and a real departure for Johnny Cash. And actually, unfortunately, after the mauling this got, he went back to producing some fairly kind of lackluster stuff until he eventually got dropped by Columbia. Okay, a white label promo. That is the next one. Yeah. Now I know I've got loads and loads of the, well, you know, 20 probably at least. But for the life of me, I couldn't think of where they were in my collection. But luckily, I managed to find this one. This is Rusty Weir. This is Stacked Deck, and I liked to get one which had that kind of ticky box demonstration, not for sale labels on the front. I always wanted one of those, and so when I found this, I was very, very pleased indeed. I'm quite happy now I've got one not to have any other record covers spoiled by that. But and just to show you, there we go, Columbia White Label promo. Rusty Weir, kind of funky country, southern rocky bluesy stuff. Yeah, this is from '77. Okay. A compilation album. I'm going to be a little bit of a cheat with this one. This is called Sweet Steel, S-U-I-T-E, Sweet. And it's the pedal steel guitar album. This was released in 1970. Yes, on Elektra. And basically, it's a collection of well-known pedal steel players. So you've got Buddy Emmons, who played with Linda Ronstadt, various other people. He was probably the most established in Nashville. Then you've got J.D. Maness, who played pedal steel all over Sweetheart of the Rodeo. You've got Red Rhodes, who probably most famously teamed up with Michael Naismith. You've got Sneaky Pete Kleinow from the Flying Burrito Brothers. And Rusty Young from Poco and Buffalo Springfield. So yeah, and basically it's just them doing various instrumentals. I'd say it's not really a compilation album because it was created as a unique album. They're not taken from other places. But I just thought I'd show you. There's some great tunes on here. They're probably one of the standouts is Sneaky Pete doing a cover version of Sunshine of Your Love. I also like Buddy Emmons' Witch to Lineman, and it's got Clarence White playing guitar on all. It's got kind of like a house band supporting them all. So yeah, so Sweet Steel, my compilation album. An album that tells a story. Now this is quite literal. This is Pedal Steel. Oh, Pedal Steel. It's almost as if I chose this one next. Pedal Steel by Terry Allen and the Panhandle Mystery Band. Probably most notable for his Juarez album and Lubbock on Everything from the 70s. But this is later in his career from the 80s. Now, Pedal Steel is a piece that is basically a radio play set to music, but it was first used to accompany a dance performance. And it's got the Four Corners, which is a collection of other radio plays, musical radio plays called Torso Hell, Bleeder, Reunion, a Return to Juarez, which was that first album of his, and Dugout. And it's not actually a 2-record set. Pedal Steel, the story Pedal Steel is on the record, but it has then a collection of 3 CDs with all the other, well, also got Pedal Steel on it, but it's got all the other radio plays on it. So yeah, if you imagine, if you're familiar at all with the playwright and actor Sam Shepard, it's very similar to the sort of stuff he produced, his own plays and stuff he would write. Sort of, yeah, that sort of ambient sounds moving into country songs and voiceovers telling stories about people, and yeah, really good stuff. Lovely, lovely record. So that's Terry Allen, Pedal Steel. The album that needs a vinyl pressing. Okay, I'm going to choose 2 for this because I'm going to be cheeky. I'm a big fan of a singer, an artist called Kelly Hogan, and I would really like if either of her albums by Bloodshot from what time of the early 2000s or late 1990s. I would like either of those. So that's Kelly Hogan and the Pine Valley Cosmonauts, Beneath the Country Underdog, or Because It Feel Good. Either of those, please. That would be nice for this year. Represses of those on vinyl. A common album and an uncommon album. Okay, so a common album that you see everywhere, at least you used to see this everywhere, in every charity shop in the UK, you could guarantee on finding a copy of Johnny Cash at San Quentin. All over the place, 50p, you could pick it up. Live at Folsom was a completely different story. It took me years to get a copy of this. And I know in the US it's probably something you can find everywhere, in every thrift store. But in the UK it was not easy to find. So that was everywhere, that was nowhere. So I was very happy when I managed to find a copy of that. So it's funny the way these things happen. I think that was accompanied an ITV documentary. So that's probably why there was lots of those copies kicking around. So yes, Folsom and San Quentin. Okay. Oh, an EP. I'm going to show this. This is Country Guitar, 45 EP on RCA, and it's got Skeeter Davis, Hawkshaw Hawkins, Sons of the Pioneers, Hank Snow, John and Jack, and Hank Locklin. Now this was a collection of 3 of these that John, the 6-inch pianist, gave me a while back. I'm not sure I've ever shown them to say thank you. Thank you, John. They're a lovely set. So that's volume 10. You've got volume 4, which is all Hank Snow. And then volume 6, which has Eddie Arnold, Hank Locklin, Porter Wagner, Hank Snow. One day I'd like to get all of those EPs. It's a nice set. But there you go. There's my EPs. So the Country Guitar. Rather nice. Okay. A girl group. I'm not sure you should really call this a girl group, but it's the Carter Family. This was from 1972 or 4? No, 72. And this is, 30 years after the heyday of the Carter Family. And it's basically Mother Maybelle Carter and her 3 daughters, June, Anita, and Helen. And there they are on the back. So there's Mother Maybelle, there's June Carter, Cash, and I'm not quite sure which is Helen and which is Anita. But there you go. So this is, yeah, it's that sort of folky country that they're famous for. What have we got on here that anyone might know, or I might know? No? Oh, it's Take Me Home Country Roads. Oh, I could do without them singing that, really. Anyway, so yeah, so that's my girl band, my girl group, the Carters. An album cover you love. Reno and Smiley sing Sweet Ballads of the West. Love that. I love that cover. Wonderful, bold design. It's also got quite a nice label on the Ember label. So yeah, smashing stuff. I like a good gunfighter ballad and stuff like that. So yeah, so you got things like since I've used my Bible for a roadmap, actually I thought it would have things like Streets of Laredo, but it doesn't. So yeah. So anyway, so Reno and Smiley, really nice cover. An album that you've listened to the most, because as you've probably noticed, this is mostly and all country related. I'm going to keep in a country theme and say this is probably one of the most listened to country albums that I own. This is Super Suckers, Must Have Been High. Now, Super Suckers were are a punk rock group. And they started to go in a country direction, and they eventually recorded this album. It's got Willie Nelson doing guest vocals on this as well. And yeah, this was, I think, '97. This came out, and it was back when I was getting into country, and so this was a kind of a gateway drug. It showed to me that country was cool, and it is cool. If you say otherwise, yeah, you're not right. So anyway, so yeah, so Super Suckers, Must Have Been High. That's an album I've listened to many times. Okay, an album I had to get an OG copy of. Now, I don't really care if it's an original pressing or a repress. You know, if I've got a choice between a scratchy old original or a brand new, nice, shiny repress, I'm probably going to go for the repress every day of the week. Anyway, I like some obscure stuff, and so a lot of stuff has never ever been released on CD or even repressed. And this is one of those. This is Larry Groshy, Crescentville, and this is from 1970, I believe. Let me check. And you're not going to tell me, are you? Anyway, yeah. So let's say it is. Let's just say this is 1970, and if I'm wrong, well, shoot me. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of country folk. But one of the reasons I wanted to get hold of this is it's got Doug Dillard, Sneaky Pete Kleinow playing pedal steel on it. You've got Billy Ray Latham, who was with the Kentucky Colonels and the Dillards. And you got Gib Gilboa and John Beeland, who were from Swampwater, later the Burrito Brothers. Yeah, so it's a nice sort of folky country album, and I had to get an OG copy because there are no other editions of it. So there you go. So that's Larry Groshy, or Groshy, Crescentville. Nice stuff. The last album I purchased. Now, I bought, when it came out, Townes Van Zandt In the Beginning. I think it came out in something like 2002 or 2004. Anyway, it was I was looking through Amazon and I came across this really cheap, so I thought I'd get myself a vinyl copy. It's basically demos of the first sort of stuff he recorded, which got him his recording contract. And it's atypical, some of it. It's got some funky kind of country kind of grooving funky tunes, which is a bit odd for some of the later stuff he'd do. He would do some of that stuff on some of his albums, but yeah, really nice. One of the things that's disappointing is the original CD has lots of sort of writing about the album, telling you about the history of it. You've got the lyrics in there, and this has Sweet Fanny Adams. It's got bugger all, nothing, just the record. That's a bit cheeky. Anyway, so there you go. So, yeah, In the Beginning, Townes Van Zandt. An album they don't get. Who are they? Who are they? Right, I'm going to choose this, and it represents something. This is Charlie Rich, Behind Closed Doors. And what it represents is the Nashville sound. And I want to say that the Nashville sound is much maligned. Nashville sound is that, you know, incredibly produced sound that Chet Atkins kind of started, and Billy Sherrill, who produced this, would continue. And, you know, it's lots of strings, it's lots of backing singers, and a very mellow, cosmopolitan sound. And yes, some of it is devoid of any feeling and soul, but the best of it, and I think Behind Closed Doors is one of them, reach a sort of a baroque level of perfection that are just, you know, it's outstanding. There's rarely been anything that's been produced as well as these stuff that Billy Sherrill did. Billy Sherrill, on a good day, takes anyone. Yeah, so I just want to say, people don't get it. I mean, they sold a lot of records, obviously some people did, but, you know, the hip kids don't get it. You know, they like their Flying Burrito Brothers and their Graham Parsons, but they don't get this, and they should do, because it's bloody good. A punk album, or the closest thing I have to it. I have quite a few punk albums, but of course I'm going for a country feel, so I'm going to have to show the Waco Brothers. This is John Langford's from the Mekons, who I suppose you could say they were a punk band, maybe post-punk, art punk. And this is from 95, and it's To the Last Dead Cowboy. So they're basically, if you imagine a kind of a country clash, I don't think you go far wrong with imagining what the Waco Brothers sound like. Also, with the Waco Brothers, you get the nice artwork from John Langford. So that's on Bloodshot. So they were releasing some things on vinyl with Bloodshot, but not Kelly Hogan. Come on, Bloodshot, please. Okay, so there, yeah, punky country. Okay, we're up to the final one. Okay, brilliant. So, favourite 2020 release. This came out just before the lockdown in March, and it is the second album by the Handsome Family. It's Milk and Scissors. I bought this from them when I saw them live, probably when they were touring for their album after this, Through the Trees. So it was only available on CD, and finally it came out this year twinned with their first album, Odessa. And it's perhaps not what they would become known for, but it has got some of that sort of gothic country feel. Some great tunes on here. It's also got some vestiges of the sort of rocky indie kind of stuff, where you have some loud guitars on here as well, on Winnebago Skeletons. But otherwise, it's yeah, it's a great sort of alternative country, gothic country record. And so I'm really pleased. Now I really just hope In the Air is released at some point, and then my life will be complete. That and Kelly Hogan. And then my life will be complete. That will be it. I will resign from the VC. I will go away. I'll become a hermit and listen to my records, and that's all I will do. Okay, so there you go. Handsome Family, Milk and Scissors. That was my favourite 2020 reissue. There you go. I have no idea how long that was. I tried to do it as quickly as possible. Thank you for suggesting these questions, Andrew from Tales from the Crate. Yeah, so I will be back at some point to do some stuff. Oh yeah, you'll be waiting to hear about some more about UK small label country music, won't you? So until I come back with that video, bye bye for now.